Good morning and happy Tuesday. And today is going to be an interesting conversation. Something to think about when you're in the workplace, when you have a business, when you're dealing with clients, dealing with customers, but specifically when you're working for a company and you have a boss. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, get your muffin and croissant, whatever. Let's pull up a chair and let's have a discussion. And by that, I mean, I'm going to give you some information and you are happy to make I'm happy to receive comments, questions, that sort of thing, and we can kind of engage. And today we're going to talk about narcissistic bosses. Oof. First of all, if you have a narcissistic boss, I sympathize with you. I am sorry. It is a challenging situation. If you're living with a narcissist, it's even more challenging. But at least with work, there is some separation. So we're going to talk about 10 ways to deal with a narcissistic boss. And hopefully that will help a lot of people. There are a lot of people in situations at work where they are having to confront these type of bosses. And it's kind of a lose-lose battle. It's not even worth getting into a battle because nobody wins in this situation. So first of all, we're just going to talk briefly. What is a narcissist? In a nutshell, a narcissist is someone who lacks empathy and is very difficult to get along with. Let's just put it that way, okay? They're not able to connect with people, including their children, including people they allegedly care about on a deep level, due to whatever, due to either being overly spoiled as children, neglected, or some form of abuse. So there's a lot of videos about that. I'm sure you can go on YouTube and find out more information about a narcissist, but typically they lack empathy. And so they cannot feel your pain and understand what it is you're going through, or even care most of the time. So when you have someone like that as a boss, that's going to be very challenging because nothing you do is going to be right. So you have to accept that from the very beginning. Don't even engage. Don't even try to make them happy. It's going to be very difficult. Another thing that they typically do is they complain about any time they have to make a sacrifice. They're okay if you make a sacrifice, but if they have to sacrifice, then it's always a challenge. And they'll remind you, I did this last week. I paid for water last week. I bought this for you. Even things like for their own children, they'll complain and want some sort of reward for it. But in reality, nobody just needs a reward for doing what you're supposed to do anyway. So just keep that in mind. Nothing you do is going to be right. They're never going to be satisfied or happy. So, number 1, in 10 ways to deal with a narcissistic boss, keep the peace as much as possible. I know it's challenging. You probably feel like I haven't done anything wrong. Why do I need to keep the peace? But the reality is just try to keep the peace, because if you need employment, especially if you're a single parent, you want to make sure that you have your job. So try to get along, do your best, don't engage, don't argue, just try to keep an even keel as best as you can. I know it seems unfair, but it is the reality. So, and number 2, recognize there's not any fairness in this dynamic, okay? It doesn't matter if you were working 16 hours straight, took a 5-minute break, didn't even go to the bathroom in those 16 hours. They're not going to be satisfied. They're always going to want more. So fairness is not in their vocabulary. And when you're interacting with them, make sure fairness is not in your vocabulary, because it doesn't exist. But just know God's got your back. And when you get involved in these situations or these type of employers, there's a good one coming. Just hang in there, okay? Learn what you need to learn. Do what you need to do. There's a miracle on the way to you, okay? Number 3. Recognize, and number 2 and number 3 kind of the same. Recognize nothing you do will ever be good enough. So if you're working for somebody and you just generated $1 billion for them this week, or $100,000, it doesn't matter. Whatever you generate, it's never going to be good enough. So they're going to always want more. Some of that is because of jealousy, competition within them, because they probably don't think they can do it. So recognize nothing you do is ever going to be good enough. So don't expect it to be good enough. Just be like, okay, don't let your moods remain even. Don't be up or down, because even if they're happy with you this week, if they bought everybody lunch and they want you to feel good, they don't mean it, okay? There's something in the Bible that talks about a stingy man. He'll give to you, he'll offer you, but then he'll start counting the costs. And that's what a lot of them are: extremely stingy, extremely selfish. So don't expect any form of fairness, because it's not going to happen. And nothing you do is going to be good enough anyway. Number 4, Find your own happiness and don't look for it within the context of that work or employment. You can find your happiness in how you're interacting with clients, whatever, depending on what it is you're doing. But don't try to find your happiness by trying to make them happy, because they're never going to be happy. So just find your own happiness, whether that's doing yoga, going to the gym, going on traveling, doing different things with your family. Just find your own happiness. Number 5, make the best of the situation. Don't allow anyone else to change who you are as a person. You don't have to become angry and sullen. We've worked with people, we have clients, we've worked with vendors, and they tell us about this particular employer where everybody started out nice, everybody was fine. And then all of a sudden, they all started becoming nasty. So they were beginning to take on the persona of the boss. Don't ever do that. You're better off walking away. If you cannot separate your emotions and detach from their behavior, you're better off finding something else. So find your own happiness, but make the best of the situation and don't become part of the negativity. Number 6, treat all people with respect. One thing a narcissistic boss does not know how to do is treat people with respect. In their language, in their behavior, they always think they're entitled, and they always think everything's about them. If it doesn't include them, it can't exist. So treat all people with respect, regardless of their behavior, because who knows how long they're going to be your boss. You never know. If they are your boss for a long time, then you're in that place for a purpose. If not, then there's something even greater coming. Could be promotion for you. You never know. But treat everyone with respect, regardless of how they behave towards you or around you. Number 7, pray before work and ask for guidance. Whatever your belief system is, definitely have something meditative that you do before work that keeps your peace, keeps you happy, and gives you joy. So pray before work, ask for guidance is number 7. Number 8, listen to meditations, keep your mind calm, something calm, relaxing music. If it can be religious music, it doesn't matter what it is. But listen to something to keep your mind calm, because they love to combat. Narcissistic bosses, narcissistic people, they love combat. They love to argue. They love to fight. They love to just go at it with other people because they're miserable. They want you to be miserable also. But don't give them that opportunity. You find calmness, find stillness, find peace, whether it's through yoga, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through some sort of religious activity, through music. Keep your calm, keep your peace. And calmness is strength. You learn that in martial arts. Your calmness, your peace is your power. Number 9, sometimes with dealing with a narcissistic boss, you have to allow your boss to believe he's right. There are some really good bosses out there. There are some people who really care about other people. And they don't need to be right all the time. And they even admit that they're wrong. You're talking about major corporations that have done tremendous success. You're dealing with bosses and leadership that says, I'm wrong. You know what? I can learn something. A narcissistic boss, no, they don't ever believe they're wrong. They're always right. So allow them to believe they're right. You don't have to engage with them. You don't have to argue. Just, okay, you're right. As long as you need to be there, as long as you need to work with them, garner what you need to garner, learn what you need to learn, do what you need to do. Let them think they're right. Number 10, stick with your job unless you have another opportunity. If you don't have another opportunity, we don't want to just up and just leave. Wait until you have something in place, especially single parents, before you leave, okay? So now we're going to just go through these real quick. 1, all 10. So this is 10 ways to deal with a narcissistic boss. Number 1, keep the peace as much as possible. Number 2, recognize there will not be any fairness. Number 3, recognize nothing you do will be good enough. Number 4, find your own happiness. Number 5, make the best of the situation. And number 6, treat all people with respect. 7, pray before work, ask for guidance. Number 8, listen to meditations, keep your mind calm at all time. Remember, calmness is power. Number 8, listen to meditation and stay calm. Number 9, allow your boss to believe he or she is right. Just go with the flow. And number 10, especially as a single parent, stick with the job unless you have another opportunity. Again, Sonia Gallen-Komanika, SoniaGallen-Komanika.com, and the author of 10 Things I Wish I Knew as a Single Parent, where we talk about all things single parents, your finances, and our ultimate goal is to make kids safe by educating their parents. Wishing you all an amazing day and a successful journey while dealing with narcissistic boss. Have a great one. Keep smiling, keep calm, and be great.